Well, hello folks, welcome to another video. So today is actually about 5 or so degrees, well actually about 10 degrees warmer. It's about 65 right now. So that's like nice to be outside temperature, 65, 70. It was a little bit warmer during the day. It's about 70 right now. So today I will be smoking CAO Flavors Moontrance. So this is their flavors line, and the flavor is Moontrance. And I smoked Moontrance before, made videos of it, probably deleted it. And I first encountered Moontrance. Somebody's cat getting attacked, or anyways. And I first encountered the Moontrance flavor from pipe tobacco. So it may be a dark cigar, but it is not. It's probably mild. Yeah, I'm really liking this flat flame. I'm using it more. It is this is an expensive lighter, and yeah, this is very aromatic. And oh crap, yeah. Now the mason jar that I took this out of had a hydrometer in it, and it showed 76. So, and of course it's sweetened tipped or sweetened head. It seems I'm going to be fighting this one to keep it lit tonight after dinner smoke. And yeah, this one's very aromatic. You can even taste the aromatic through the cigar. And being that it's not very windy tonight, yeah, the aromatic kind of lingers around. You can smell it. It is a very nice, it's a very nice vanilla-ish aroma. Like I say, taste-wise, it's not as strong. I don't taste any bitterness in this. Let me get my water open. So I don't taste any bitterness in it. Yeah, I might have to throw in an extra 1 or 2 Boveda pack in the masonry jar, just to bring the humidity down. Because because the flavor cigars can come from the warehouse, wherever it is you order from. They tend to be more moist. But yeah, this is a really nice scent. Okay, so this depends on if it's good news or bad news. So it seems us Asian, I'm talking to my Asian brothers and sisters, it seems that the leftists has kicked us off the people of color list, and we are no longer on the people of color list. They kicked us off and told us to go over with the white folks. Now, I myself never consider myself a person of color. Basically, POC, person of color, old school definition is a black American. It didn't encompass, Hispanics, Latins, Asians, Pacific Islanders. It was black American only. That's what the person of color was. It was the leftists who tried to put every minority group into this person of color list. So the first group to get kicked off are the Asians. Yeah, it could be a smoother draw, but like I say, it is. It came out of a mason jar that was pretty high humidity. So yeah, so if you follow politics, you know that was it Wednesday Wednesday, the Team Trump lawyers held a press conference, and I even watched it twice just so that I didn't miss any nuance. So someone made a video, and I didn't realize it, and it was what is Sidney Powell reading? Who wrote what Sidney Powell is reading? And someone on the Donald, I guess, sort of made an edit, took her 14-minute part where she came up and read that speech, read that note, put in her, made her comments, and I got it edited. I just need to upload it to YouTube. And of course, if YouTube takes that video down, for copyright strike or whatever, I doubt. It's been edited enough to where you can't tell which or who did broadcast. I normally watch, not normally, but right now, any press conference coming from the Team Donald Trump, or Team Trump, whether it be his attorney or Trump himself, I normally, if RSBN actually is broadcasting it, I'll probably be using a clip from them. Yeah, and of course I ran into RSBN years ago, as a alternative news along, and of course AON, it was OAN, One American News, that they've been around for years, and I kind of watched them, but I don't watch them on cable because got rid of cable. I watch them on the internet. Yes, so basically, yes, the Kraken has been released. And as it turns out, I kind of checked up on the Kraken. Of course, Hollywood kind of took the Kraken from the Norse mythology. The Kraken is a huge sea monster, basically a octopus, a large. Let's call that kind of like Leviathan. I guess a Leviathan would be another name, but basically it's a large. Squid sea monster. Is what the Kraken is, but of course the Kraken that we're all familiar with here I V-cut it, but it's I bought like a whole box of these, so it's one of those, hey, Black Friday sale. It's like, all right, man, you got me, Yeah, it looks like it's kind of canoeing a little bit. Let me fix it. Yeah, and cracking too. That means it is canoeing. It's pushing up. Like I said, yeah, first time I encountered this was with pipe tobacco. I still have the tin of this. The tobacco's probably dried out, but no, don't throw away your dried out pipe tobacco. You can reinvigorate it with some distilled water. Just put into a sprayer. Give it a couple of spray into your tin. Cover up your tin, give it a good shake, and your tobacco is good to go. Yeah, no, you don't want to smoke dried out too. A little bit of dry is okay, but too dried out pipe tobacco, like if you have one that's been sitting around for like a year, like mine, where you kind of gave up on pipe tobacco. And then you're like, you know what? Let me give it a try again. Reinvigorate the tobacco with some distilled water, and so basically, if you smoke the dried out tobacco, it's going to be extra hot. So you're going to burn your mouth, burn your tongue, burn the roof of your mouth. Yeah, that's the one thing I did not like with pipe tobacco is the heat, because and that's one reason why I gave up. It's like my mouth, I'm burning my tongue, burning the roof of my mouth. Forget it. And of course, per that FDA report that came out, 1 bowl to four bowls a day, which I think is what the average pipe tobacco smoker smokes, is about 1 bowl to 4 bowls. You're okay. No mouth or throat cancer. Of course, for caffeine, I got Monster today. Yeah, so of course, the Kraken that we're familiar with is from Clash of the Titan, which is a Hollywood, bastardization of the Kraken, because it looks nothing like a giant squid. The old 1982, is it? It's 80, yeah, I think the 1982 version. I like both. I like the 1982 version. I like the remake, which I think is what, 2006 is when they remade it. Or was it 2000? Might be no. I think 2010. I think is when they remade Clash of the Titan. And of course it was a success. I don't know if it was a huge success. No, but of course back in the days, back in 1982, they didn't do trilogies. Trilogies are like super popular these days. And speaking of movies, and of course Hollywood. Of course the Hollywood elites, they got tens of millions. But of course, unlike us, they live extravagant. There's a saying: the more money you make, the more you spend. Many of them got multiple $10 million mansions. You got to pay tax on that. You got to pay utility. I'm pretty sure some of them probably has liens, on those $10 million mansions. They fly around in private jets. That ain't cheap. So if you're not making money, 8-9 months that we've been locked down now, it's going to start hurting them too. And of course, one of the good things to come out of the COVID lockdown is Hollywood is sinking. They're not making any movies. Any movies that they've made, the few months prior to the lockdown, kind of like Wonder Woman 1984, they were going to push it out to the theater. But of course, now we got the second wave of lockdowns in Democrat states. So they're like, okay, we're going to push it to December, and they're gonna put like HBO Plus. It's like, okay, you're gonna lose money. And for like what, the last 10 years, I probably go to the movie about once a year. Yes, once a year, twice at the most. I'm very particular, very picky the movies that I go watch, because I don't mind waiting until it comes out on streaming or it comes out on disc, Blu-ray or is Blu-ray still a thing? Yeah, because everything these days I watch is streaming. I haven't watched a Blu-ray. I haven't purchased a Blu-ray like forever. Yeah, this is it's going along just fine now. The burn is more even. That I touched it up. It is a very nice aromatic scent. Like I say, it's kind of to describe the aroma, is kind of a vanilla-ish type smell. So if you're a fan of vanilla scented cigars, I know that Tatiana, their vanilla scented cigar is really nice. It's actually pretty close to the real vanilla, the actual all natural vanilla. Yeah, so I've been hearing this about the Great Reset, and people are like, hey man, look up the European Economic Forum. So a bunch of the globalists, basically a bunch of globalists attended. And each one of them who went up to do their speech were talking about this Great Reset. Yeah, the Great Reset is basically, them, the globalist elite, get into power, a one world government, and the rest of us is under the thumb. That's the Great Reset. Yeah, and of course someone made a note, and of course I saw this coming. Well, right now, all of the money is going to like just 3 or 4 companies. Of course, Amazon, they've made like a $100 billion profit, since the 8 or 9 month lockdown, or 8 or 9 month of the pandemic. I'm trying to remember, I read a little note by a guy named Dan Price. I think Walmart 38 billion, Target was supposed to be, I guess, the direct competition to Walmart, that they made somewhere around 38 billion also. Same for Home Depot and Lowe's, they made around 30 something billion. So basically, big box and big, and I guess Amazon is also big box. They don't have a store site, but they're technically big box. And yes, 90% of the things sold on Amazon are made in China. Actually, some of it is shipped from China, actually. And yes, we're, I think, what, 21% of small businesses have gone out, meaning that that's it, they're done. They're not reopening. Gone out of business. So they're trying to ship, because they're trying to shift. I guess what I guess Dan Price is saying is that they're trying to shift, because globalists don't like the independent mom and pop shop. They want a big, centralized, as big as you can get, centralized distribution, rather it be for shopping, for your medicine, things like that. So we'll see. So this is a Friday video. So tomorrow is Saturday, and they're holding rallies again in D.C. and in the state capitals. I'm not gonna go to Austin. Now, if Austin was of course, around Austin's like blue, but around Austin, the hill country and stuff, that's all red. But not going to be going there by myself. I know I don't want to be on Facebook or Twitter like that. The guy in the orange and black vest. When you get sucker punch. Anytime. Yeah, and I took martial arts a long time ago. First thing, one of the things our instructor taught us that if you're fighting if you're in a mob, fighting against multiple opponents, back out of the mob or back away from the multiple opponents, and try to get away. Don't be the tough guy, because somebody's going to sucker punch you. And if you watch a lot of these Antifa hyenas, what are you doing, dog? Every single one of these videos of these Antifa hyenas is what the guy, he's fighting off this guy, and this guy, and then someone sucker punches him from the left field or right field. So unless you got a buddy to look after your back, you might get 1 or 2 or 3 punches in, but someone's going to sucker punch you. So the best thing for you to do is to get out of that situation. Yeah, and that one, the guy that sucker punched him, turns out is a child raping pedophile. I'm like, well, gee, man, is that surprising at this point? Now the guy himself was arrested, and of course the guy that did the sucker punching, he's been arrested 21 times. And myself and other people have said, these people, to them being arrested is nothing. They literally have nothing to lose. That they don't have a house payment to worry about, and they got a car payment to worry about. They ain't got job to worry about getting fired from, being locked up in jail. Most of them live in their mama's basement, or they live in their, the girlfriend's Section 8 house. Playing Madden King during the day. And then at nighttime go out and try to beat people up. That's assuming they're awake during the day. So that's so that's my tip. Is if you catch yourself something like that, don't be the big shot and think, hey, then this is a bunch of Antifa and BLM. No, they're a bunch of pencil neck, soy boy. They're weak, but the thing, of course, one-on-one, of course. But one of you versus 5-10 of them, because there was about 10 of them surrounding that guy. I was like, dude, I was watching. I was like, man, get the hell out of there, because someone's going to sucker punch you. And of course, as he was leaving, it's when he got sucker punched. In that situation, your head better be on a swivel. Don't just walk off like, yeah, man, I showed these guys, because that's what it was. And he's like, I showed these guys, and he's trying to walk off. Someone comes up and sucker punches him, and I've been in mobs like that where a fight breaks out, and you're trying to get out. Your head needs to be on a swivel, because someone could just come up and sucker punch you. You should have been looking left and right. Maybe trolling around. Or walking, kind of sideways a little bit. Looking at them side-eyed, like, hey, what up? What you gonna do? But instead, he just walks off like, hey, I'm the man. I show these guys. And he gets sucker punched. So he was trying to get away, or he was walking away. But again, in that situation, try to get away. Your head better be on the swivel, because the sucker punch is coming. Right, so yeah, I wrote down a whole lot of stuff, but I probably won't cover 1/3 of it. Yeah, kind of like I was saying, this week something's going to drop, and it looks like it was the Kraken that got released. So it took the Trump team lawyers about 2 weeks before they got their all their gathering, and then doing their case and actually filing the lawsuit. So all the lawsuit in prior weeks were from other Trump supporters, but they weren't the official Trump lawyers, but they were Trump supporters, attorneys, or law firms who filed lawsuits, because they saw what was going on. And of course, don't listen to the MSN. Yeah, every time one of these attorneys or law firms who gets their cases thrown out, Trump's cases got thrown out of Pennsylvania. Trump's cases got thrown out of Michigan. It's like, no, those aren't Trump cases. They are Trump supporters, but they're not officially Trump's team lawyer filing those cases. It's other attorneys. And of course, you got that's what the left does. The left, their thing is doxing. That's what they do. And of course, they dox those two, I guess, verifiers or canvassers. Yes, those two canvassers in Michigan. And under pressure, they verbally said, okay, we'll give the verification count to the Democrats. And of course they recanted, like, no, never mind. We were threatened. Our children were threatened, and we felt scared for our lives. After further, after sleeping on it, I'm pretty sure that those two got a lot of sleep that night. And of course, Wisconsin yesterday was the day before yesterday. The Wisconsin county, they had a meeting because they wanted to change the way recounts. They wanted to change the rule on how recounts were done. And of course, that one is a 6-member board, 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, and the Republican pretty much filibustered. It was like a 5-hour meeting, and it was live streamed, so you could have. I didn't watch any of it. So some people did watch it, and they and of course the filibuster worked because around midnight, it was just a little bit after midnight. One of the Democrats was like, "Hey, it's after midnight. We've been at this all evening. I want to call it." And the other 2 Democrats were like, "Okay, let's call it." And they so they basically didn't get these new vote counting rules put in. So the filibuster worked. Yeah, so they basically, just talked and delayed the count, basically, or the vote. It's not a bad cigar. It's holding together nicely. I'm waiting for the ash to drop, and I don't want it to drop on my feet. So there's that. And I've been saying it's there's another channel, so I think Monkey Works, where the guy literally has air traffic controller software that tracks airplanes around the world, or at least in I guess U.S. friendly, in Europe and the U.S. I don't know if it tracks it. I don't know if he's able to track it in Russia and China, which I doubt. And he's like, yeah, there's lots of military activity. Some people are saying, well, it's maybe military, getting ready to distribute the vaccine. He's like, no, this is a different type of military activity. Like, okay, yeah, something's going down, so here's what's going to happen. Come next week, which is Thanksgiving week, what is today? Let me check today's date. I didn't even check the date. Today's the 21st. Let me refresh my tablet. 21st, 22nd. Let me look at the calendar. Shoot. Calendar. Today's 20. That is Friday, 21st. No. Okay. Never mind. Yeah. To say. Well, it's. Did I forget to roll back the clock? Yeah, I did. Anyways, today's the 20th. Yeah, there you go. See, this thing should have a. So the week. What I have a feeling is that after Thanksgiving, Friday being the 27th, I have a feeling we're probably going to get a Biden and his team conceding on the 27th. What's going to happen is, the 20th, 29th, that weekend, Democrat cities are going to be on fire, or he may wait till Monday the 30th to concede, because there's going to be some. Because I'm pretty sure the team Trump is trying to do this to the legal channel, or they may just bring a laptop to Biden's like, all right, man, we've warned you about this. We warned you about this, and you wouldn't listen. We're gonna release this information. We're gonna release these emails, these videos, and even if we lose, even if you get into office and we don't, this will pretty much destroy you. You won't be able to do anything. But I have a feeling either by the 27th or the 30th, that's just my prediction, we're going to see a Biden conceding to Trump. Of course, liberal heads will explode. They're going to be going, oh man, why the heck did Biden concede? What cheating Yes, and of course the MSN is already, you know, talking about Trump is stealing the election through cheating, and if Rudy Giuliani and his team is able to get the flip, that's exactly what they're going to do. It's going to be pretty much four more years of Russian collusion. 4 more years of trying to impeach. And once Donald Trump gets in, hopefully he takes care of. He's already slowly taking care of the swamp. Well, I read somewhere, Trump, he merged the CIA with the military. So it's so I guess the CIA is no longer standalone, and of course all of these people that he's firing, that I'm pretty sure he's firing a whole lot of other people that we're not that we're not being made aware of. The ash hasn't dropped yet. It looks like it is. It's kind of curving down a little bit there, but let's see here. Yes, and of course the Georgia rhinos. So Trump needs to drain the CIA, which he's doing. So he's draining the CIA swamp. He needs to work on the FBI next. He's taking care of the DOD, the Department of Defense, because the DOD has military leadership, and they have, of course, civilian leaders in the DOD. And of course, the DOD, they, for them, war is good. Having no war is not good. See here. Yeah, so we'll see. Looks like something happened this week. So next week, it's Thanksgiving week, and I have a feeling come Friday or either Monday, we're going to see a Biden conceding, because basically the Democrats back in 2000 did give Gore 37 days, and we're coming up on 30 we're coming up on 30 days come next week, or actually, let's see, November 3rd, December 3rd will be 30 days. So add 7 days of that would be December the 10th. So we're coming close up on the 37 days that was given to Gore, but like I said, like I was saying, something's going to happen either before December, or we're going to see something major where it's either, hey, Trump don't get it, which I don't see happening, or there's going to be a flip beginning of December, or we're going to see Biden just concede and say, hey, okay, I give this to Trump, and the Kool-Aid Brigade is going to go nuts. Because I will reiterate, neither he nor Kamala Harris campaigned. As a matter of fact, for like a month, Biden's wife Jill was the one doing the campaigning. She was the one doing speeches, doing these little rallies, while he was hiding in his basement. And I remember speaking with some buddies like, yeah, man, Biden's not even rallying. His wife's out doing the campaigning for him. We're all like, yeah, man, shit, he ain't gonna win. The guy's hiding in his basement. Who's gonna vote for that guy? Now, hopefully, this gets taken care of hopefully this gets taken care of in a constitutional House vote. And again, the way that works is that each state's legislator, chooses one person to go vote for them. And normally, of course, if it's a Republican ran legislator, they're going to choose a Republican. If it's a Democrat ran legislation, state legislator, they're going to choose a Democrat. And of course, people who don't understand that, who are kind of looking at that, they're like, well, wait a minute, there are more Democrat House seats in Congress. Like, well, that's not how it goes. In a constitutional House vote, it's each state sends one representative, who then casts the vote. And if you can look it up online, it's something like 30 something, 31, 32, I believe, Republican ran states to 28, 50. Actually, that'd be 18. Yeah, to 18 Democrat ran states. Yeah, so if it goes to the House, even if one or two rhino states, looking at you, Georgia. So even if one or two rhino states sends their rhino representative who decides to cast his vote for Biden, Republican states still greatly outnumber Democrats. Because that's what they're pushing for right now is to get the constitutional House vote. And again, yeah, because if it goes there, Trump wins. There's just way too many states controlled by Republicans. Like I said, even if one or two, rhino states, Utah, I don't know, it's Utah. Mitt Romney's from Utah. Speaking of Mitt Romney, the yeah, so it seems this Dominion software was around since 2004, and that it was probably used in the 2008 and 2012 election and 2016. It's just that I guess it's just that this time they got caught, basically. Because if you look at the 2012 of Mitt Romney, the Rhino, like I said, I didn't vote in 2012. Yeah, 2018, I was one of those Kool-Aid drinkers, who voted for Obama. It's like, hey man, let's get a black man in office. Yay. It's like, well, he at least supports this and this. I'm okay with. I don't agree with all of this over here, but at least he supports a little bit of conservative values. And of course they had John McCain, who's also another globalist, and rhino, a globalist rhino. Mitt Romney is just a rhino. And of course in 2012, white folks walked away from Obama. They're like, the majority of white men, rather be, of course, Republicans weren't going to vote for him. He lost the majority of Democrat white men, and some white women. So people are saying, well, the reason Obama won is because he went to the gays. Like, look, man, gays make up 2% of the U.S. population. There's no freaking way. And most of them live in California and New York, because at first I was like, that makes sense. Obama went and got the gays to vote for him. That's how he got in. But now, thinking back, knowing about this Dominion software, and if you think about it, okay, well, the majority of gays, or at least the major hubs, we're talking about, it's California and New York. And since our voting system isn't based on, popularity or popularity of votes, I'm thinking about, okay, the gay vote shouldn't have pushed Obama over. And of course, someone went and looked at the voting pattern for Obama in these swing states, especially in the precincts that's Philadelphia and Detroit and Atlanta. And they're like, yeah, we took a look, And all of these precincts, 100% for Obama, zero votes. 100% vote for Obama, 0 votes for Mitt Romney. And of course they tried the same thing in 2020. Of course they tried it in 2016 also. That's why Hillary was so confident. She's like, hey, look, man, it worked for Obama in 2008. Well, I mean, Obama didn't need it in 2008. He was getting in. But he needed it in 2012 against Mitt Romney. That's how he got reelected. So he said, okay, so Hillary's probably like, okay, this worked for Obama in 2012. It should work for me. But I guess there was a glitch in the Dominion software. Either they didn't program it they didn't program it correctly, to override the Trump wave. So in 2020, they're like, okay, we're gonna fix that glitch in 2012. We're gonna put an override in where it stops the counting, where it's like, okay, look, Trump is ahead by 700,000. We're gonna cut it off. Change the vote so the next morning, Biden is now 800,000, and Trump at 700,000. Like, and of course it's like, and of course people are like, wait a minute, man. And when people start checking, same thing. Anywhere where this Dominion software is used, Brazil, Bolivia. Of course, Bolivia is a hotbed of this corruption. they change dictator every 4 years through a coup. And yes, and when the coup happens, the general, soon to be ex El Presidente is normally beheaded. when the next general comes in with his people. So Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, they're saying it's the same thing. The votes going and going. It seems to be going for the not the incumbent. But of course, in the U.S. case, it's for the incumbent. But it's the vote is rising and rising for the challenger. Of course, the dictator is the incumbent in South America, because they're all socialists down there. And now knowing about Dominion, it's like, okay, well, you know what? The folks in South America, I know I have to apologize. In some cases, the people didn't vote in these dictators. But in some cases, I'm pretty sure that in a lot of cases, the people in South America voted in these dictators. Because hey, I will give you free. Okay, vote for him. He said he will give free. So they're saying the same thing in all these South American countries, where one party is way ahead, then there'll be a stop. And the next thing you know, you see a straight up, a straight up nearly 90-degree a vote count for the other side. Surpassing the person who was in the lead. They're like, yeah, we see this. There's, just like it happened. The guys were like, yeah, the alternative news interview. They're like, yeah, as soon as we saw this, we knew exactly what was going on, because we've seen it in South America. It would stop. Then the next day, you'll see a near 90-degree, line of votes for the other person, who then gets declared the winner. This is exactly what happened here. We saw a near 90-degree vote go up, and Joe Biden was declared the winner by MSN, of course, the fake news. Next, I guess I'll close it on this. I've been speaking with friends, and I pretty much told them, and some of these, of course, are friends from California. Unfortunately, they have houses in both California and Texas. I pretty much told them, well, you know what? The only way for people like you who support socialism is to be forced to live in it. Like the people in Cuba, people in South America. The people in Central America, Honduras, Venezuela, Honduras, what's that? Guatemala, yeah, Honduras, Guatemala, and they're trying to climb their way through Mexico. Of course, some Mexicans too, to get to the United States. So it's like the only way, because in the U.S. it's too easy. These liberals in California, New York, if things don't go their way. It's like they voted for crap, and now their cities and their state is crap. They just leave. They're not stuck. It's like they're not stuck in California, not stuck in New York. They just leave, and they go to other places, and we see it. And if you track it, Oregon, Washington State, Nevada, and now Arizona and New Mexico, and of course now they're talking about voting irregularity and glitches in New Mexico, which of course it's just, you might as well just call it what it is, cheating. They migrate to Colorado, and all of these states have turned blue. And of course you're like, well, are there that many people? Yes, there is that many people in California. So if tens of thousands of them leave to go to another state and start voting the same liberal policies, yes, it will eventually. It's not going to be 1 or 2 years. It's going to take years before it flips. And of course, the young people, the 18 to 25, tend to vote liberal. But the thing is that so that statement is kind of true and false. There's a saying, you can't change stupid. Because one of my buddy mentioned, okay, well, why are these people come from South America, Central America, voting for the same socialist crap? Same socialist crap. I'm just like, yeah, you know what, man, you make a good point, man. It's like you risk, even the people of Cuba, like you risk your life jumping on this rickety raft that you and your buddies are fastened together with ropes, water bottle, the 5-gallon, those 5-gallon water bottles, or maybe some fuel containers, some plywood, and you're crossing 90 miles of water to get to the U.S. just so you can vote for communism again. That was back in Cuba. And yes, lots of Cubans, especially those around my age, since Obama got rid of the wet feet, dry feet. I don't know if Trump was, I don't think Trump's going to reinstate that. He's got other issues to worry about. Yeah, but those who, because I have a feeling that the people who came over are the one who votes Republican, or they don't vote at all, because they're like, well, you know what, my vote don't count, so I'm not going to vote. But I have a feeling it's their kids and grandkids, because Cubans, they've been coming over since the 80s from Cuba. Of course, there was that in the 80s there was that huge Cuban flight. Of course, the movie Scarface was based on some Cuban guys, fleeing Cuba, coming to the U.S. I never really liked Scarface. Had a a buddy who liked it, and of course he watched it all the time. Got the VHS, the DVD, and of course the Blu-ray when the Blu-ray came out. If it's on TV, if he's over, or if I'm over his place, oh man, Scarface is on. I was like, oh man. Because I'm like, okay, I don't idolize, so I don't idolize these guys' lifestyle. This is not what I want to attain to be. It's that saying, you live fast, you're gonna die fast, and that's what these guys live. They live fast and die fast. Yeah, so that's that. And I was like, okay, well, you know what, it's kind of like Steven Crowder's like, changed my mind. So yeah, you changed my mind. It looks like it is. I guess I was just 50-50. You know, those who flee these socialist and communist hellhole, you know, will still vote for the same policies that caused the hellhole back in the country that they're fled from, and others will see the light and say, okay, look, man, we're now that we're in the land of the free, let's make sure we keep it the land of the free. And a lot of Latinos, yes, because Trump got tons of Latino votes. He got tons of Latino votes here in Texas, and I guarantee you, if you go back and do a vote recount and audit here in Texas, Trump's victory would probably be even bigger. Here in Texas. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. It's beginning to get to the end. See if I cover anything else here. Yes, the 230. The year 230 Great Reset. It's getting there. Let's see, because according to these green cultists, the year 230 is when the Earth is going to, because of climate change, because of man, the Earth is going to collapse. But the year 230, and of course, all of these companies pushing electric cars. There's basically three sources of lithium right now, and yes, lithium is the newer battery technology. It's only been around for like the last 15 years or so. 10 plus years actually. So I remember back in the early 2000s, it was NiCads. I was into RC racing, and it was of course we use the rechargeable NiCads. Those were horrible. You normally when you go to the race, you'll take your one car, and you'll take your 4, 5, 6 batteries. Because guarantee one of your batteries will probably going to swell up and burst, or not charge at all when you try to charge it. Yeah, so I had experience with with rechargeable batteries, and of course, anytime you fast charge battery, whether it be lithium, the newer lithium ion, or the old NiCads, your smartphone. We just had a Samsung ran into that. Yeah, the reason those Samsung Note 7s, the reason their batteries burst is because they couldn't. Those are lithium ions too. This is the reason they burst, because they couldn't take the fast charging. So if you try to fast charge it, the battery couldn't take it, and it overheated and burst, caught fire. So the problem is there's only 3 places. There's Africa, which of course uses child labor. There's Australia, which of course they do it correctly because it's Australia, but the problem is their lithium is expensive. And then there's China, which uses slave labor. So you got 3 choices: either buy it cheap from Africa, and look past the child labor and slave labor that they're using in Africa. And of course the Chinese are in Africa right now too, and I'm pretty sure they got their hands all over the lithium mining that is being done by hand in Africa. Or, yeah, got some of the tobacco in my mouth, tobacco chunks. Or pay through the nose and get it from the Australians who doing it properly, without slave labor or child labor. Or again, get it cheap from the Chinese, which isn't happening. Because of the trade deal that of course Trump put in with the U.S. and China. Right now the U.S., if you are a Tesla, GM and even Nissan, so these. And I don't know where Volkswagen, because Volkswagen wants to put out by 2024, they want to put out a million electric Volkswagens per year. Yeah, this is getting close, man. I'm gonna have to put it down. It's burning my finger. And who knows, then they may be getting it from China or from Africa. I doubt they're buying it from Australia. So not only the problem with the lithium-ion batteries, and yes, we're going to be seeing lots of electric cars, because right now electric cars, of course, gas engine cars way outnumber electric. But the more electric cars that they force on us, you're going to see a lot more cars caught on fire on the side of the road. You're going to see a lot of batteries, being dumped in landfills, are being put into a cargo ships and shipped over to third worlds and dumped there, because that's what they're doing with recycle. And I tell people, it's like, yeah, I recycle my trash, but I understand that only 10% of the recycled trash that I put out actually gets recycled, because it's actually more environmental impact. One, and two, it costs a lot of energy to recycle. So recycling right now is one, it's not profitable. It impacts the environment more, and of course because it takes more energy to recycle. So what a lot of these guys do, yeah, okay, I'm gonna shut it down on this. So what a lot of these guys do is, they take the tax break money or any government funding that comes their way for the recycling, pocket that, go dump the recycled trash into a landfill somewhere, pay the landfill the dumping fees, because the people at landfill don't care. So, hey, it's a truck full of trash coming in. Or what they'll do is put into a bunch of cargo bins, ship it over to like Vietnam, and dump it on and dump it on the Vietnamese. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that those guys are probably like, hey, give us the money, we'll take it, and then they're dumping it into the ocean, because they're saying, hey, a lot of the plastic trash is coming from Asia, specifically Southeast Asia, where Thailand and Vietnam is. And I wouldn't be surprised one bit at all if these companies that are receiving these recycled trash from the U.S., number one, they're burning it. Number two, they're dumping it back into the ocean. So yeah, we're screwing ourselves basically. So yeah, so people are saying, well, you know what? Just go ahead and just dump it into a landfill. It's going to cost less. It's going to cost less pollution. It's going to cost less plastic to be in the ocean. So it should have just done that in the first place. All right, well, that's it. I do thank you guys for hanging around. This is a good cigar. That's except they had a deal on cigar boxes, so I bought a box of the and CAO is a good brand. I forget who makes it. Yeah, I know you're like, hey man, cigars are kind of like conglomerates. You got like these 2 or 3 or 4 giant cigar makers that makes all these different lines, and it's almost like a Ford. It's almost like a Ford, GM, Chevy, and then you got the Japanese and the Koreans car makers. That's almost what it is. You got like these, maybe 4 or 5 large conglomerates that makes all of these different cigar brands, but it's actually one company that makes this 5 different brands or 10 different brands. But if you like flavor cigar, I definitely recommend CAO Moontrance. It is from their Flavors line. Make sure you get this cigar and that you pay attention, because you might actually be ordering pipe tobacco. So be careful. So if you get a 10 of CAO Moontrance, it's because you ordered the pipe tobacco and not the cigar, and hopefully you got a pipe to smoke it. I wouldn't return it. I'd go ahead and just pull up. If it was of course in my case, I'd pull up my pipe, give it a smoke. But if you're not a flavored cigar smoker, then this one probably wouldn't work for you. It is very aromatic. Of course, with all flavored cigar, they sweeten the tip, and this one is so aromatic that you actually taste the vanilla. I actually taste the aromatic, which is, like I say, it's kind of a vanilla-ish taste. So not only do you get the aroma, but you get that vanilla taste, along with all of the regular cigar taste that comes with a cigar. So, yeah, so this one actually, because some flavored cigars you get like a cigar taste, but you get the cigar aroma. The not cigar, but you get the cigar taste, but you get the flavored aroma. So this one was kind of different. I got like a lot of vanilla from the cigar. All right, well that's it. You'll once it does flip for Trump, you'll see me with my Trump hat on. The reason I'm not wearing it is because the camera and the lighting, it causes the autofocus to go in and out, and that's annoying. Or if I do it, I'll probably stick some extra light on the side or something to keep it from focusing in and out. But this is going to take time. Like I said, if something happens, it's going to be at the end of next week, Thanksgiving week, or it's going to be the first week of December, where we see something go down. Because right now, Team Trump, just this week, Team Trump finally got their court cases in order. Filed their lawsuits in right now they're doing it, of course, in Wisconsin, Michigan, Philadelphia, and in Georgia. Arizona, unfortunately, is still counting. If they're counting into next week, and of course the MSN already gave Arizona to Trump, but they're still counting. So if you're wondering, so why is Arizona so quiet? Why is during the news conference, why didn't they mention Arizona? And of course, well, actually, Rudy Giuliani did mention. He's like, Arizona is still counting. I was like, really? What the heck? That's why Arizona's been so quiet, because they're still counting, and it's very, very close in Arizona. So I don't know if they're like actually counting and auditing at the same time, where it's like, okay, let's check the signature, check the ballot, does it match? Does the signature match? Did the person do this, and this correctly? Because I don't know why it's taking them. It's 3 full weeks now that they're counting in Arizona. Because like I said, maybe, and I would understand if they're counting and doing an audit at the same time. It's like, okay, let's just count and do the audit, so that way, when it does come up, it's probably they're probably going to be rather it be for Biden or for Trump. The other team is going to ask for a recount, so they're like, well, we're going to do the audit along with the count, so that way we can say, hey, we already did the audit and we were counting it, so it's all good. Or it could be that there are some shenanigans that's happening that we're not being made aware of. Maybe they got Hillary down there counting, and she's going slow. 1, yawn 2, or maybe they got some geriatrics, some 90-year-old geriatrics doing the countings. Oh, I'm sorry, that was wrong. This is for Trump, not Biden. I don't know why it's taking them. And I guarantee you they probably won't finish. Guarantee you they probably won't finish come next week either. So it's gonna be like a whole month where Arizona's trying to count and not finishing. And it may just take to where, hey, we're just gonna let Arizona go, and take this to a constitutional House vote, and and just let Arizona send their Arizona legislators send their one vote, to the House, and just forget the count. It could be the Arizona's delaying on purpose, whether it be the Democrats or Republicans, delaying on purpose, or I'm letting it naturally burn out. Well, that's it. Again, yeah, this time definitely thanks for sticking around, and we'll see what's going on.